to international events. Hell, I remember a Starladder ages ago where they threw the bomb out Mirage window and then stayed in the apartments. Like they were doing like wild stuff, but I hope it's become a bit EU-centric as this has gone on.
Well, let's find out whether or not it is EU-centric as we throw over to TYLOO versus Team Vitality.
Ooh, yeah. BO1, Mirage, opening matchup for these two teams here in the play-in. Vitality looking to run through and get to top 8 of this event, of the main event. And misutaaa, the main man, in middle, putting on a show, picking that first player, trying to back out. There's even a flank coming in. TYLOO are being chased down by these long flanking players. ZywOo gets gooshed, but he still wins the fight, and it's all falling apart, Harry.
Yeah, not the ideal start here for TYLOO. They do get churned up, moving out through middle slowly. Last guy alive, and he's been wrapped by
three
dupreeh.
headshots.
Yeah, it's so much damage done. You almost killed 3 people, but almost killing 3 people is the same as never even having attempted it, Hugo. It's not really.
No, it's the
They're
same as
still
not
alive
killing
at the
3
end.
people.
That's what I was kind of going for, but it didn't have as good a ring to it.
Tried to butter it up a little bit.
Yeah. You know, yeah, bit of a rough one to open up, but that's how she goes, Bubs. That's how it happens sometimes.
Yeah, man, bit of crumble, apple crumble for TYLOO. As Vitality steal away that first. We've got some A4s in, A4 fans, ZywOo and dupreeh donning the slightly more ammo weapons. That's we're really Apparently we washed up in the break, Harry. Who knew? Pistols in con and perfect for ZywOo. With all these bullets, Harry, he's going to put them in bodies.
With all of these ammos,
there's so many shots in the gun.
Enemies like these with frenemies like ZywOo.
Yes, I remember that one. Well, 2-0 start. It's a good start.
Yeah, it's going to be a little while till we get to see Danking on the AWP, but God, that's really what I'm looking out for. For me, that's when like this T side really gets going, or it really has a bit of oomph behind it. But he's no stranger to donning a rifle as well. We're going to have TYLOO leaning out towards middle with the majority early on, right? It looks like Summer's going to try and deny some of this short control down towards B, just have a semblance of control there for TYLOO, while the rest of the gang try and work this mid area.
Party molly, just in case of an AWP. TYLOO will get that fountain control for now. dupreeh's up behind the tree. And while Vitality established a con boost to get info early, they've gone back into a more standard 3-2 setup. Double long, dupreeh not checked, and 3 kills for him. He's only going to get 1 though. ZywOo has to back out, doesn't want to dig a grave on this A site. He's going to go back for the molly. ZywOo making use of every penny spent. Meanwhile, TYLOO late clear connector. They do it silent as well, so attacker can come out towards that top site. Important that he's silent, as Apex would hear every footstep made from the B short side. And this has freed up Vitality to fully rotate top. Nice shot for attacker, but there's many more to get through.
Yeah, grimy little angle for misutaaa. So good to just get 1 and then get out of there. And while this is happening, he's even got support from Magisk inside of the A site. Now, if Apex dies here, that could have been a route into B opened up, but instead, he's dropped the bomb down in con, and it's all left onto Bentet here in the 1 versus 3. misutaaa's back in his angle, and it's always so frustrating to deal with. It kind of gives you a bit of a false sense of security. You think you've cleared deep enough. And so right as Bentet looks away, that's when misutaaa strikes. It's 3-0 to open up for Vitality. That first rifle round going their way. And so TYLOO on the back foot early on, gonna have to play catch up here.
Yeah, when misutaaa's popping off, the days are just easy for Vitality, right? And he has started super, super strong. Bame's jonding it right now, 7-0. He got a kill with his first bullet in the map on that pistol round, the first bullet fired. And so, yeah, he's certainly looking good. It's a nice sign, ZywOo in the party now. And, oh, that's a dirty dig from Slowly. He does it quick. Apex will also come in on the flank and backstab 1 by 1. TYLOO getting drip dry out of this round, as they should be with Deagles. We would love to grab that M4, but Apex is doing everything he can to deny the pickup. Finally out of ammo. But more kills wanted, needed for Apex, the Bloodlust, as he takes the pistols out of middle. And Danking got to do it with a dig.
He's good with the deagle, right? A lot of AWPers are. But let's see if he's able to do anything here, creeping up late through middle. He's getting sandwiched from the mid peak and from long. He's going to deal with that first man. dupreeh now dead in the water, and Apex gets the info that he's still floating around ramp here, hasn't tried to get aggressive, so Vitality might look to just triple peek him here. They're moving up through the party,
No.
and DanKing finally dealt with.
He was on it.
But yeah, man, the Deeg does do damage to close it out. That's a bit of a taste test for what DanKing's going to bring us, as now he pulls the AWP out here in round 5. For me, this is the moment where if he can hit the ground running here, TYLOO can have their second win very early on.
Yeah, it can be very hard to get those T-side AWPs going, though, as we know. So let's see if Vitality
but Hugo, you're
say,
thinking rationally about
exactly.
how to use the AWP,
I will
right?
say, Vitality, true, he is crazy at times. Vitality are playing very aggressive, right? They're chasing flanks, they're pushing long, they're attacking in middle. So right now, they're willing to take these fights. Is it just against pistols? We'll see. Mollied out is dupreeh. He's still going to escape. That's just sick. Nade might kill attacker. Runs through the Molotov, down to 36. Meanwhile, misutaaa flashed into short, but sees nothing. Summer was tucked in. Didn't get right. TYLOO will get right up connector into that AWP scope.
Yeah, nice easy shot for ZywOo. He's not going to miss those. The slow walk for attacker is his demise, and ZywOo is still hungry for even more. Now, DanKing is moving around with his AWP, right? But it might be a very early clash of these AWPers as they attempt to move their piece into place to deal with the pesky ZywOo over on the short side. Quiet all across the map, but that silence is about to get broken. dupreeh over at long, playing this kind of deep off angle, hoping he goes unchecked and is able to swing as they try and close the gap. Will go peeking out, gets the info that Slowly's here, but does sustain a lot of damage in the process. ZywOo still keen to get involved, seeking kills on the short side as he sees this util getting laid up. He's going to strike Buntet from the tally.
Nice shot. 20 seconds. They've got a lot of room to cover. They've got a lot of distance to move through. ZywOo flicks, but it will be a miss. 20 seconds. We've got to go now. Flashes are just pushing these players off. TYLOO might have to save. They look like they're going to. Yeah, backing out finally. Seemed indecisive for a second, but it's a risk worth taking. Don't want to die after time, though. DanKing needs to hit this. misutaaa will be hunting kills, perhaps at the end. DanKing waits and hits his shot. So it's all fine for TYLOO. They hold on to their guns, but Vitality are storming the board right now as they should. 5-0. That CT-sided start is so nice on Overpass.
Right, DanKing tried to take a very, very kind of supportive AWP element into that round with him there, right? He just went and held Monster. He threw flashes to set them up to take B short, but he wasn't involved in any early fights. And to me, that's where he does his best work. So I kind of hope that with a bit of a better spawn, let's take a look at this. Try to deduce where he is. The 7's covered on the mini-map, so that's kind of heartbreaking.
We'll never know. I don't know. You're not going to get many spawn-based picks in this map anyway on the T side. If you want to hold Monster, you can do it with your back spawn most of the time. And yeah, ZywOo's just going to be going through the motions on A, taking party peeks. They've already been mollying that position, so definitely going to need to keep it up as he's shown tendency to play towards it. But yeah, it's ZywOo on CT Overpass. He's just going to be falling back each shot, and TYLOO have to gain that space other ways. DanKing goes down con. TYLOO fights middle, missed shot. But as said, he's not in risk of death. He can just go back. Got a teammate in connector with that door off as well. Summer is on the chopping block, but so is dupreeh. Nice.
With dupreeh dead right away, TYLOO might just pump the brakes here, right? Slow it down. You wait and see what the reaction is out of your opponent. Vitality are giving them aggro, but misutaaa gets out like a bandit, just removes Summer on the short side and then lives to tell the tale. Now boosting up Apex. DanKing's holding for it and flicks up to find them. Magisk continues to put on a hold at the B bomb site, right? The Dane's not faltering too hard here as Magisk holds the line. TYLOO now going to group in the 3-on-3, leaning towards the B site still, and it's only Magisk here to try and work their way past. Right now, misutaaa's kind of in limbo, kind of in rotation, kind of still at B, but he's going to be a little ways away. And with Magisk blowing out the water, he's now got to be quick if they still want to hold on to this B site.
Yeah, that's a very risky position. Those jumps over the monster for TYLOO were perfect. Magisk was aiming in the wrong spot. He didn't know. 3-on-2 molly is good, but there's time to fake or even stick in the smoke. Risky, but spam not connecting. Oh, until it does. misutaaa gets him off the back of the plant.
The last 2 bullets as well.
Both headshots. 2-on-2 now in the retake. ZywOo has got to move in with this AWP. Teammate trying to bait for him, but Danking's seen that crossing player. He knows which side he's on, but he doesn't know misutaaa is already up close. Smoke on the bomb. It's not for attacker. It's tucked in. ZywOo can stick, and misutaaa's done damage. It's a 1 round for Vitality, and nothing can be said or done for attacker. That's the awkward Molotov, right? That forced an alternative plant, and it comes back to bite TYLOO.
Yeah, it's a little concerning to open up the, you know, thus far it's kind of been Danking and Slowly as, the only guys to put up numbers. Obviously, haven't really had the most full buy rounds out of TYLOO yet, and it's still early days. But it does concern me seeing buntet 0-6 to open up this game. Hopefully, he can right his course and get back on top of things, because usually he is that second man to Danking to put up big numbers.
We are very much getting a Vitality that is here to make a statement, though, in their opening game. Alongside the likes of Heroic, who only just made it into this stage, could have been already in the main event. Vitality feel like they deserve to be there, and they're going to try and prove it again. Mow down in the monster. Magisk, pistol out, will do him dirty. Double headshot to buntet, and no chance in this contact B play that was very much relying on it going well, because Danking and Summer are lost to the wind.
And I mean, now it almost feels obvious, right, that this short fight is going to come in. You haven't seen anything at Monster, haven't heard any noise. The one area you haven't had is kind of over here towards short and the connector, and you know that TYLOO have been taking that. So, yeah, I think Vitality very much on top of things here. You're going to be hard-pressed to find any sort of way back in. Every peak you try and take is going to have 3 players ready to respond. With Danking dead immediately. It's 0-5 Summer in the 1v4. Not much for him to do here, but kind of finish the formality of this round, just getting it over and done with. Try do some damage at the very end of things. And he might even elect to save here. That looks to be the call. TYLOO, they forego another one. Vitality 7-0, still flawless on this CT side.
Oh, double-faced. Couldn't isolate them there, and Vitality will do exactly as you say. Flawless game right now, looking very, very good. And while it may be a bit sad for TYLOO, at the same time, it's reassuring to see teams that we have such high expectations of, you know, step up to those expectations. Astralis, not so much earlier in their previous game. But then again, not the same expectations as the likes of Vitality. 7-0, little half buy here for TYLOO. Couple of guns. dupreeh faces in middle. He's been down to the connector a few times. Going to go back and set up with his AWP. Magisk gets aggressive and find to throw himself into the meat grinder. He gets ground down after 1. It's a gun gifted, but TYLOO are too far away to go and pick it back up. They're going to work middle instead.
dupreeh lies in wait, and they don't know about him. They've got no idea. Over in long toilets, there's kind of a man who's finding himself behind enemy lines with every second that passes. There is a gap in towards the A site, right? But ZywOo's looking to plug that hole right now. He rotates up from heaven and starts to take this position, looking down onto the short side. dupreeh will get deegged out. Slowly's Deagle looking to do it again. Chimes in with a frag and now puts TYLOO a man up in this one. They're going to start to pick up the pace, moving up in towards this A play. ZywOo, lone defender, needs to hit something with this AWP. misutaaa can't help him out too much, so it is ZywOo having to do the heavy lifting. Apex now moves in. Another missed shot from this AWP, but it's all on Slowly. 20 seconds left to play with, and he's just looking for a fight, just looking for a way back in. ZywOo hangs around out in the open, but Apex is there to trade. And Vitality, they get that one back under control. It kind of hangs in the balance with all those missed shots from ZywOo, but his teammates were there through and through to walk that one over the line.
The fact that ZywOo is solo A, he misses that many shots and they still win the round is just insane for me. Vitality, yeah, love that trade for Apex. Shown in the bank, throws a flash and uses that timing to run round the dumpster. You saw in the 1v1, the last thing Slowly was ready for was a player from the same position. Beautiful teamwork for Vitality. Yet to drop the ball. ZywOo, they're very close. Flash, no peek with it, comes too late. If Attacker ran with it, maybe there was a chance, but ZywOo's ready for the close peek. That spam hit Slowly, they heard it, they know he's here. dupreeh's very ready for that engagement. I like that for Vitality, good bit of damage just to, it took like 1 health off of him, but it was enough to get information. ZywOo's forced in front of the Molotov, but he doesn't care. And every fight in every area is being won by Vitality. Oh my God.
Well, Summer's surely got this, right? There we go on the smoke fade. That's a little something, a baby step in the right direction. 50 seconds left if they do want to give this one a go. But 2v4, they've got the bomb this time. That's better than a lot of these rounds where they're left with like 40 seconds. Normally the bomb's already cut loose. But I still don't even see them attempting this one. I think they look very, very scared right now, and justifiably so. This is a Vitality that's kind of found their stride, it feels like, coming into this. Not at all like a worry thus far. And that's exactly what we wanted. I think, you know, it would have been easy to let TYLOO put a couple of rounds up here and there as long as you got the win. Doesn't even feel like Vitality want to let them have that grace. You know, they're taking everything right now and showing no signs of stopping. They've forced a save out of TYLOO. I think that's a real sign of the times. They've elected to do this a hell of a lot, and that's not really what springs to mind for me when I think of TYLOO. Usually they're more than willing to kind of give like 2v3s, 2v4s, a bit of a look in, get a little bit wild with it, and we're not seeing that right now.
At the same time, it's somewhat a good sign, right? Just playing to the meta and playing the numbers. That's a reasonable save in a very difficult position. But at the same time, Harry, it's now 9-0, and they've got to get on the board eventually. They will not get a CT side unless they show us something in this first half. TYLOO use a timeout.
Also, Bentet's still yet to frag, which... You know, when I kind of said it like 6 rounds, we were 6 rounds in when I first brought that up, it didn't feel like it was too big of a problem yet because, you know, really they'd only had like 2 proper rifle rounds in amongst all that, and then like some kind of like buy-ins occasionally where Bentet was just a little bit screwed. Now, as we get into the 10-round mark and he's still yet to frag, still yet to offer up a hell of a lot, it does become a problem because he is very much the star rifler of this team.
I smoked that mid-molly, but there's a second one in the playground. It will slow TYLOO down, and look at what Vitality have done with that extra few seconds. They've taken playground. dupreeh is so deep, and he's getting flashed in for fights, but DanKing is ready for that one. Good awareness from TYLOO. They had nothing to signify that that's what dupreeh was up to. But maybe the flash helped out a little bit. Still a heavy long setup. TYLOO going to try and tackle it. Apex, oh, it's a messy spray. Gets a 1-for-1 at least, but it's not what Vitality need in this now man-down position, leaving misutaaa alone on the B-bomb site. He's going to try and lean back. Either set up to gamble towards A or retake towards B. It's the latter. TYLOO are coming in.
Yeah, misutaaa's pushed up though, only good for 1. He's called for his teammates to rotate down. Attacker trying to be that first man in, and he will quell that resistance up in heaven. There's the closer. Attacker goes on a real tear to put that one over the line. 3 kills from him, all of them just running into that B site. He needed to deal with misutaaa. The follow-up onto heaven was like a nice little bonus, and he even goes hunting for that 3rd man. I think if you'd given a little more respect to Vitality there, you likely would have seen ZywOo attempt that one. You know, he'd already come in with a nade kill on the build-up to it. They brought it back to a 1v2. I think there would have been a very good chance that we see him attempt that round, but Attacker never gives him the chance. And so TYLOO are now on the board. Their first round arrives in round number 10.
Better late than never. misutaaa on the boost. Summer's pre-aiming it. Oh, he clears it. That's sick. What a check. A checkmate onto this B-bomb site, taking down the point man of Vitality right now. TYLOO come up through connector as well. Vitality have been forced to lean into that lower bomb site. It's only ZywOo. The only reason I say only is because he doesn't have a big green put back on the A1S right now. They should be able to trade their way into A if they want. Reboost could catch Summer, but right now he's holding very safe. And the missed jump is enough for Vitality to call it off. They don't want to be obvious. Or info flash fires off. And so Vitality, off of that firing shot, now know this is likely to be an A attack. They're going to rotate as a result.
I like that, right? Monster Smoke gets lobbed in from dupreeh just to offer a bit of resistance, bit of assistance to Magisk down on that B bomb site, and it allows Vitality to lean very, very heavily into this A-hole that they've assembled. They've read it well. They've got everything in the right place, and they're going to churn up this attempted push in. dupreeh and ZywOo lighting up the scoreboard. Summer's out late down towards B and has caught Magisk, but the bomb is still in no man's land. You've got to fight your way into the A bomb site all alone if you're DanKing. And they've just dodged him. They've just gotten by him, and the round now should be unwinnable for Summer, who's throwing into this 1 versus 2, having to run the entire way. He didn't have the time to play with. And so Vitality, that one starts to feel like a walk in the park towards the end. Damn. They very, very quickly figure out, where they've got to move these pieces, where they've got to move that double sight hold to dodge a potential B-wrap or a far short play. Yeah. And I mean, really, even if Apex didn't win that final fight, it would have been a Vitality round anyway.
That's really unlucky that the bomb gets dropped there, right? If DanKing can grab it and get back, suddenly you have a route into B, given by the lurk of Summer, who gets his kill here, but not meant to be for TYLOO. Vitality. I love that rotate up. All it took, Harry, was a flash from ZywOo. It made the AWP fire, and Vitality went from 3B to 3A in an instant. And they just rested on that call. Trigger Discipline gets a triple for dupreeh, and that is splendid. Very clean kills, all headshots. And yeah, they don't clear their corners in con. That's what comes to bite. dupreeh's been all over this position, all map. Flashed into middle, looking for more. Didn't see the head.
Oh. Do you think dupreeh aces this round, or does ZywOo steal it?
Oh!
Ooh, slowly, Deagle. Watch out. This Deagle's pretty deadly. Looking for ZywOo now. Flashes go up to try and set up this AWP to peek. Slowly, he's got so many angles to look at. Where does he even begin? Deals with ZywOo. Here's Apex in the toilet, ready for misutaaa, but ultimately just too many angles, too many little crevices harboring Vitality players. They all come crawling out the woodwork eventually, and it's just it's too much for one man and a Deagle to bear. This is a very, very one-sided game. You'll note that because one of the scores is far bigger than the other.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, Vitality, very reassuring to see them not struggling at all.
Yes, it's always sad to watch TYLOO lose like this, but it does, at least reinforce some confidence in Vitality right now. 11-1, no signs of slowing down. Fast, and well, not for long. Apex puts the brakes on Summer with that wallbang headshot using the lineup. Gonna go back to Monster with a double setup now. Gets there just before the smoke fades. And so TYLOO are setting up for a B explosion, dropping DanKing 4 flashes to lob them in. But we have an anti-flash player. We have a Vitality who are ready for this exact execute.
misutaaa, if he can hold the line on short, it's going to free up this double monster hold. Oh, instead, Apex is left having a trade, but he's done his job. 1 for 1 there. They might see the barrel, but you ain't getting that kill, DanKing. And so 1v4, once again, the bomb out in no man's land. Not really a hell of a lot for DanKing to do here apart from save. Kind of the only option he's left with, and even then, Vitality really want to push the boat out. ZywOo's hunting him. DanKing has dealt with the AWP on the CT side. And with 40 seconds, he might even give this a look in once again, but he's going to have to be given a serious way into this round. Could happen with misutaaa pushing the short tunnel.
Okay.
DanKing's nailed it. 30 seconds. This was a 1v4. dupreeh is so out of position. Apex is the only man inside of the B site.
Nice flash.
DanKing so blind. And Apex is there to put the hurt on him.
He just sat there like a lemon. Didn't know where to look. But yeah, what can you do? Great utility for Apex just to buy time for dupreeh. Didn't even need the last man. Good attempt from DanKing. And that was such an important closer for Vitality. They would have not had the AWP as it was lost at the top of Connector unless they killed DanKing. So they definitely want that for this CT side to keep breathing. TYLOO have had some close rounds, but they can't close rounds. A key distinction. They're on a Deeg, a Galil, 3 AKs. Vitality have everything they want, even lining up spam towards the connector. TYLOO skimp on by. Oh, dupreeh didn't see.
He didn't, yeah.
He did not see DanKing, but he runs and will escape.
Still, that kind of mental timer he has is going to be a little off the mark now if they keep moving forward with this, and DanKing is... As far as ZywOo's aware, they shouldn't be in the long toilets yet, so DanKing could actually get the drop on dupreeh. That's kind of the hope right now for TYLOO. That's their one route into this. It's the same off angle as last time for dupreeh. Are they ready for it on this occasion? They will take that peek. They've spotted him, and slowly he's going to deal with him. Taps him out of the round to find this 4-on-4. ZywOo's now calling for a rotation as Apex moves up to join him. 50 seconds, TYLOO poising for this A hit. They're up on short, and actually, they're going to change their mind here. Moving down the con side, the bomb going back through spawn, along with 2 little bodyguards to reinforce it. Either site they go to, they're walking into a double hold. As they set their sights down here towards B, they've got to get past Magisk and misutaaa. Terrifying twosome to run into on this B site.
Yeah, Eminem. Have they got the bars? We're going to find out. Apex through the gap in the smoke, a missed smoke thrown in by TYLOO, and he just eviscerates them. 2 kills, and the double M&Ms lock it down as well. Not even frags on the entry for TYLOO. These are looking like really weak rounds. Some of the contact rounds that TYLOO have shown us have just not been it. Vitality don't get caught off guard by you walking through choke points. ZywOo's hitting all his AWP shots on the A site, and even though we see a bit of flair, a bit of finesse by some of these individuals getting opening kills and getting 5-on-4s, which TYLOO are doing, closing rounds, not so much their forte. 13-1 and a 3rd timeout for TYLOO. They're running out of time. Outs.
What color M&M with misutaaa and Magisk be? I think the green M&M.
Yeah, it's good color. Why the green M&M? Why? Got a reason? Or is it feeling?
No, I mean, I know. You read much about the green M&M? This isn't like a setup for a D's Nuts line either. Like,
No, I don't know.
Okay,
I don't know this joke.
Never mind, Hugo.
Okay. Is there not a green M&M?
No, there is.
Okay. All right.
Right, double molly over in mid. Once again, just negating all this mid control. TYLOO having to respect that. They're going to take some of the attention down here towards short. Right, looking to snap this real estate out from under Vitality. Snap. Now.
They check the boost again.
Snap. Sum up slowly. They've got short.
But have they got Schnab? They're just going to exec out of the gate. Smoke on con, flashes over the top. Hope the heaven smoke lands this time. There's no one there to block it. misutaaa is going to get one and dip out, dip back in. Double servings for misutaaa, and they've made a meal of this one, have TYLOO. They are getting slaughtered in the B-bomb site. Only DanKing, and not for long. It's 14-1. The break may be longer than the second half. Stick around to find out.
Seems like I can't get away from the hot sun. Always night and never day. Even when I wash the floor, the dust still comes. Keep on hunting for the bread. No matter how lost, need no light, no spark. I'm in line mode. With my eyes closed, I can see in the dark. I'm a quiet storm, far from calm. I know you feel me, brother. Seems like I can't get away from the hot sun. Always night, it's never day. Even when I watch the floor, the dust will come. Keep on hunting for the prey. No matter how lost, need no light, no spark. I'm in line mode. With my eyes closed, I can see in the dark. I'm a quiet storm, far from calm. I know you feel me, brother.
Well, you win some and you TYLOO some. Safe to say that seems like where this game is going. Vitality have come in with a statement. Harry's come in with a budum clash. What's that called? Drum snare. Bang snare. What's it called? Don't look at me like that.
What? What? The didum?
Yeah, what's it called?
Rim shot, I think.
You're a rim shot. 14-1, and Vitality now, a T-side pistol is as good as GG. Apex has had a phenomenal game.
Yes.
17-4. What else can you say?
Yeah, no, it's he's looked really, really good, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, but TYLOO, Hugo, CT side, this is where they do their best work.
Yep, sadly, they might only have 2 rounds of work unless they win this pistol straight up. And, well, Vitality, they're going straight up long right now, baby. There's no one here. There's no info. The reroute through toilets. Oh, they don't
TYLOO
do it.
are going to be.
No, they're going A. They are rotating back up.
Okay, yeah, they changed their mind mid-rotate. That's good, that's good. They've actually just saved themselves here. They dropped these 2 guys down dumpster just moments ago, but now they're in the right place at the right time. And Summer finds that double opener on the attempted long push for Vitality. They might try to explore greener pastures here, but in doing so, they could go walking into these dual Berettas. Ugh, imagine you're being held, man. Yeah. You go all the way through B, being held from mid. Dupreeh, not afraid to get a little grimy with it. He's called for this rotate down towards the B site, and right now, slowly, is very out of position.
Oh, this is a nice gap, but if they rushed it, they would have actually had B empty, but they've slowed it down. And slowly can get back in position. Anchoring B now once again. Vitality just jump out into the short water, going to try and wrap the monster side perhaps. No, all through short, making up their mind, but at this point, TYLOO are already ready, set up to go, and they will mow down every player. 5 alive for TYLOO. Pistol in the pocket. What more? Come back?
You know, we're still a long way away from it. But the game's never over, Hugo, till it's over. Those were some wonderful shots out of Summer, man. Like him, slowly, they both given us some good Deeg moments. Even Dan King had that nice go at it. Now an eco for Vitality. They're just going to wait, right? Like, they're not feeling pressure yet. They go, okay, we're just going to get guns as soon as we can. Dan King, they're already up and past him. They're running in through Park. but he's focused on ramp. He's got one thing on his mind, and that's dealing with this ramp side of it. Should have had two things on his mind, as he is split by the park component.
Yeah. That was nice because you don't expect anyone to have run through that molly. You always see it smoked, but because Vitality didn't have a smoke and it's a Glock round, they just ran through the molly, took half damage, but it got them a kill and actually got them loads of space. So last thing Dan King expected was the eco rush. But in terms of getting a gun, you got an MP9 in the middle, so probably not a lot more here for Vitality. Really bleeding everything they can out of this round, though, making sure if TYLOO get aggressive, it will be punished. But eventually, they've got to move in, and to the crosshairs of Bentet, he will deliver them a couple more. Bentet recovery arc, perhaps. 3 kills in this eco, doubled his score. Very strange to see him come in so quiet in this first half, as he often is the point man here for TYLOO. And been touted as the best player from his entire continent for years.
Is that his full name? Been touted as
the best player in his continent. Yeah. That's actually his,
Well, there's the closer, Bentet, lovely one. Lovely little round out of the guy. 4 kills to bring himself up from the bottom of the board to
That's
now
his maiden
tied
name, actually. That's his maiden name.
Right, look, so now we get the guns, Hugo. Now we get the AKs in for Vitality. This is their moment to just lay it to rest. You know, give a couple of consolidation rounds to TYLOO and then walk it over the line. Let's see if it's that simple or if TYLOO are going to offer up a bit of resistance here in this second half.
It's now or never. Still a couple of SMGs in play, but by and large, they've bought large, as have Vitality with a rifle round. Default towards B. They've got short very early. misutaaa, who's been a monster in this game. Peering in, looking for a kill, but not stepping too far. ZywOo is lurking alone in playground, but TYLOO have not taken anything aggressive. While they've got a 4-man A setup, it's a bit of a setup in the toilet, waiting for Vitality to commit. But right now, they're pressuring that one guy at B, who really doesn't want to die. If he does, that entire bomb site corrupted. And how long do TYLOO hold this setup before they begin to doubt? He's gone right past them.
I can't believe with so many people in the toilets, you think they're like, someone would have seen this, someone would have something, but somehow, ZywOo's found this little gap, and now he's going to be able to like backstab this triple toilet setup as it rotates out to go and reinforce B. There's one, but as he goes back, he should be dead here. ZywOo still alive. I'm not seeing him in the kill feed. Finally, he's gone, and now this B play, well and truly underway for Vitality. They might have the plant, but they are still a man down, and it's getting worse with each passing second. dupreeh now gone as well. Leaves it onto misutaaa and Apex. Back turn for misutaaa. He's getting sandwiched between Con and the site. He's got to pick one and fight for it because he's lost his teammate out on the monster side. misutaaa, hot water now. He's mollied off as well. And there's the closer, TYLOO. They get themselves a fourth, a successful retake down on that lower side of the map, and dealing with ZywOo's little backstab up the short side. It all comes together quite nicely there for TYLOO.
Yeah, even though he only got 1 kill in the round, the secret MVP there is Slowly, right? He's the solo B player that entire time. And even though ZywOo gets a nice little bubble of air to pick a rotate out of the A site, Slowly on his own puts such a delay on that B play. He keeps prodding, keeps poking, keeps getting damage off and not dying, and that just brought so much room for the rest of TYLOO to rotate down from that CT spawn and close the round. So yeah, good stuff from Slowly. Always scary being a solo B on this map. Nice shot. Apex is out of the round in middle. It's only Deagles with the exception of ZywOo. But even then, should be TYLOO finding a 5th here unless something goes drastically wrong. Got some util for Vitality to pop a couple of smokes in this A site.
Dan King is like licking his lips. He's right where he wants to be with this ult. perfect place for it. And even though they have this little kind of bucket of utility that you mentioned, you know, they got these smokes and this one flash, you're still going to struggle to keep danking off of these angles for too long. Util yet to come in, but it will start to litter this A-bomb site in just a moment. There's the smokes. Buntet up close in the toilet, starts to make his way in. Dan King strikes first on the long side. ZywOo's now gone, and it's only now that they learn about this rifle in the toilets. With misutaaa trading, maybe there's a route back in. They still need to deal with the AWP in the site, and he's got support on truck. That's a done deal. TYLOO up onto 5. They deal with the little partial investment from Vitality nicely. It's still a ways to go before they're going to start to get back in the swing of things in a big way. Still haven't seen a great deal of rifle rounds out of Vitality, but there is something building up here, and they've disrupted a good few of the game plans that Vitality have thrown their way so far.
To me, it feels like that Cole Spirit game, Harry, where even though Cole, they had a really bad first half, but they actually showed up in the second. They had some nice rounds. Junior woke up. There was a lot of good things in their T side of Ancient, but it was just up against such insurmountable odds. At 15-5, they began to come back, and yeah, it was just too late. The same thing, 14-1, even though TYLOO were activating and looking way better, it might not be enough with Vitality on the precipice of closing out this BO1. But TYLOO can't think like that. They have to fight for every single round, every isolated engagement, bit by bit. It's a long road to recovery, though. However, even in this gun round, a 5-on-4, another opportunity presents itself. A rotation down to B. These are all good things for TYLOO. They're going to boost up, but there's no one working short, not yet. dupreeh could come out, but it might be late through the door as his team waltz out Monster. You've got to be careful in this boost, not where you want to be caught.
Yeah, and oh no, Summer wasn't watching. He got blinded off the angle, and his teammates are hung out to dry. Slowly now needs to hold on. Dan King, missed shot, slowly will rein it in, and the nade even finds ZywOo. It's only Apex left, and he's cut down as well. Don't get me wrong, that very much had potential to get out of hand. And as bad as it was from the offset, with the boost getting caught, with the guy on top just having no idea, dying flat out, it definitely just could have spiraled out of control from that point on in.
Yeah.
The fact that they actually get a handle back on it and manage to close that out is a pretty big deal for TYLOO.
The worst part about that boost is not only to see his teammate, as you said, get blinded off a Monster and can't cover him, but as soon as the Monster players exit or enter, I guess, dupreeh swings the door. So it's sunk costs at that point. He's just staying on the boost to kill dupreeh to try and go 1-for-1, but that also is hanging his teammate out below him.
You know, we said that like we kind of want to see some more EU-centric looks from TYLOO occasionally, and there was one there. They kind of went for like the heroic double Monster push, where you sit in that Monster smoke, you wait for the fade, you try to flash yourself through it right and get stuck in, and that was how they got the opener in that round. Magisk, even though he was holding for it, even though he was waiting for exactly that, that's why you double push it, right? It's very, very tricky for a solo B hold to deal with both of those players, especially from the wider angle at barrels. So a nice way to open up the round and borrowing some inspiration from across the pond. Now Vitality just down to these pistols, right? Bit of a partial investment trying to run up Con. Summer's here to keep them trapped in.
Oh, yeah, Molly will force a bit of respect. Nade, not ideal, but shouldn't be a problem. Vitality gaining space on long, but Apex with a scout needs a headshot, and he won't even have the gun ready. Buntet fires off and even clears long. They will retake this position, but these Ds are just getting dropped one by one. Lambs to the slaughter. TYLOO 7 rounds, basically. And ZywOo not going to be ready for this one. Summer's up. Oh, nice shot! Aim punched and 1 health. ZywOo does the impossible. But only once. Buntet will trade, and that's it for TYLOO. 7 rounds. They are, you know, again, as we've said, they're looking good. They're looking a lot better, but it is just up against such unbelievable odds.
Dude, something that is at least nice and gives you a bit more credit for TYLOO is that Buntet, the recovery arc that you brought up a few rounds ago, is well and truly there. He was 0-9, he was 1-10, however you want to look at it. That's a terrible stat, right? One that you really feel bad for him on. And he's had I'm kind of happy to say, pretty much a complete recovery here in this second half. Now up alongside the rest of the team, actually towards the top of the charts at 13 and 15. He's essentially gone 12 and 4 since his 1 and 10 performance. He's really picked it up in these last few rounds. Maybe that's going to be enough to tip the edge towards TYLOO even further. Right now, they're chaining all these rounds together with not a lot of resistance out of Vitality. That needs to change. We've got an AWP for ZywOo. We've got all the bells and whistles on this buy. So this is hopefully where Vitality can kind of get back to their winning straights. Because if not, TYLOO, they're going to start believing it sometime soon.
Yeah, once you hit double digits, it doesn't feel like you were 14-1 at the half, does it? But Vitality can't afford to let TYLOO get there. A hearty ace setup for a moment before DanKing drops down to the doldrums. That only leaves 2, but DanKing is floating. Full of fiber. Back out bank as Vitality poised behind this smoke. BNTET, it's all about multi-kills in this position. Do they clear him? The flash is beautiful, but dupreeh full blind. Fires off, finds the headshot. Flick does not connect, and Vitality with 20 seconds, they've got to go.
Yeah, into this A bomb site, into the belly of the beast. DanKing right here, but he doesn't fire off, and now they're close up long as well. DanKing going to take one to the grave with him. One kill in the right place at the right time could still win TYLOO the round, and they're going to get both. Just ZywOo left. That's the bomb dropped. You cannot win this, Magisk. You can't win this round. And so he is out of there, having to save this AK. TYLOO, another round to the good. 8 now. From this CT side, things are starting to look up.
Okay.
They're chaining them all together. They're making us believe from 14-1 to 14-8. They are starting to close the gap, Hugo. There's no denying it.
No, I can't deny it. Yeah, it's right in front of us, Harry. The truth is here. And TYLOO are putting on a bit of a show. DanKing, a very scary round with some missed opportunities, but still 1-for-1s. And Vitality right now with no bomb plants in any of these rounds, keep in mind, they are buy eco, buy eco, buy eco. They've had enough of that. Magisk has been forced to keep this AK, so he's not even got money for that next if they don't plant.
I don't know if the 15-0 CT side or bust is like my favorite strategy,
yeah, exactly.
But hell man, it's working. Like,
whatever floats your boat, man. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. 7 rounds is great, but it's not quite done. Oh, and yeah, you never know. Vitality can pull a round out like this. They certainly have the chances, especially with a gun already saved over. ZywOo hits a banger. He's going to die for the cause at Monster, but there's no cause here worth dying for. The trades do finally come in, and there's a headshot into the B-bomb site. Can I just follow up? He needed to. BNTET out heaven will live to tell the tale. Going to try and buy time for that AWP to come through.
DanKing, if he hits one of these, suddenly TYLOO are on that path to recovery. Instead, it's a dink down range.
They're below him.
From the A1S, rather. Apex caught pulling the bomb, has to go ahead and smoke himself off from heaven, but they push him, they run it in, they run through the smoke, and they've dropped the bomb out in no man's land. misutaaa, 1v2 in the clutch, having to grab this bomb first before it even begins. DanKing and BNTET, the 2 heavy hitters still to beat. misutaaa with a chance at the plant, a chance at the 1v2. TYLOO have both grouped on the CT side. misutaaa should wisen up to this, but it doesn't make it any easier. BNTET with 3, a huge hat-trick, a huge multi-kill round, and now he has successfully surpassed everyone else on his team in terms of the kill count, right? This guy went from 0-9, 1-10, however you want to bill it, bottom of the server, not even in the game, effectively 4v5, to now topping the charts and spearheading this comeback on the CT side.
Yeah, and it's one thing to get, he got 4 kills in the anti-eco. No, he's winning gun rounds now for TYLOO. He's putting on a show, giving that AWP in the 2-on-1 to close as well. That's my BNTET. That's the BNTET we know and love. TYLOO looking for double digits off of a 14-1 scoreline. Vitality, this should already be done. But they can't find one. Fast out short. Oh, and even then, the dink. Apex got a kill with that spam first half. This will not be quite a kill, but eventually converted, surely. TYLOO got to deal with a B-rush, right out Monster. In they go.
Yeah, they got a lot of bodies here, though. They got 4 players in the right place at the right time, and Vitality just spotted that. Now, that kill from Apex maybe entices you in, but I think it might actually prompt you to pull the brakes on this one,
Is
right?
fine.
You've reclaimed the 4v4. There's a lot you can do from this position, and it could have been a hell of a lot worse. So they slow it down. They try to bait out a bit of a rotate back towards A from TYLOO, and then they might just recommit with like a second volley of util into the B site.
This is a really good call for Vitality, but TYLOO, you know, they're still aware of the possibility. They're 2-2 right now. They're split up, but if you were going to have 2 on the site, it would be the 2 with the utility. Will they get time to use it, though? Announcement is there. Vitality making noise, throwing util. Danking needs to hit shots, and he started strong, but just behind the smoke there. Well, out wide, he has no idea he has cover from that short smoke. Maybe a miscom hit for TYLOO, and he puts himself in harm's way, as is Attacker, taken down by ZywOo, and the plant comes in for Vitality.
Yeah, they've done a lot of damage, but they need someone to capitalize on that now. With Summer dead, it's going to fall to Buntet, right? We said how he's been on this recovery arc, how he's been on this mission to top the charts of TYLOO, and now he's got to deliver in the clutch. 1v3, and ZywOo takes his head off. That's Vitality up onto match point now. Finally, from 14-1, they get 15. 15. I was going to try to do the maths. At 15-9, there you go. That's 24 rounds, of course.
Of course. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame because Danking had so much cover to work with off the Monster Rush, but you see he turns back into Monster after he fires it short. Yeah, Vitality could have run through the smoke, but you much rather risk standing in front of a smoke than standing in front of a guaranteed rush. Yeah, his teammate must have just thrown that smoke in. And if he knew about it, if he was aware, he'd have a lot more room to move on that pillar. Maybe could have doubled up. Needed that, but Tech can't clutch. And Vitality, a sigh of relief as they've at least guaranteed overtime, but they're here to win it. They're here to take the whole enchilada. Can TYLOO stop him? Because at least the bank is there. A streak of rounds has given them that. But 1 is all Vitality need.
Molly in, Vitality
he did
go
that
through
full
it.
blind, by the way. That's a nice tech where you jump and you bounce off the bin and you throw your nade deep, but you're not in harm's way. He did that blind. Very nice. Do it in his sleep, could Bentet. Also, they just double push Monster and they've completely cleared out B. This is a huge flank, but it can't wait too long.
Yeah, the fact that they're double committed to the wrap round, that's like the risky part here, right? Because you could still have a B play be the answer at the end of this round. Now, that's not happening. It is a fast, up-tempo play in towards this A site, but the flank is still a long way away from being impactful. At a bare minimum, you've rotated bodies up into the A site. It doesn't matter as they are getting shut out across the board. Summer might be here, an Attacker might be wrapping, but with a kill found down in Con on a B rotation, I think that bomb's heading B-ward bound. Magisk is moving in to take the real estate. This flank of Attacker has just arrived at the wrong place, at the wrong time. They're back in the site he started at down here on B. And so now him and Summer have got to win this 2v2 and a retake down at the lower side of the map.
Yeah, that's super awkward for TYLOO. Could not have gone worse, but still winnable. Kit smoke available. Summer up in heaven, making that contact. Spotted, spam. dupreeh goes back to find this flanking player. He knows Summer is baiting for information, but he's already out of the round. Attacker in a 1v2 has to just get on that bomb, but they will peek him together, and Vitality close what they started. 16-9. It got a bit scary right there in the middle, but the Frenchmen, the Danes, deliver us death to TYLOO and go up 1-0 in the play-in.